Good morning. I am Danny Papa, and I serve the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking as the president of the Board of Trustees and as co-chair of the Education Committee. I want to welcome everyone this morning to the 2023 New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking annual meeting. Thank you to Kean University for hosting us here in their Human Rights Institute. We greatly appreciate our partnership with you. We gather here this morning inside the Human Rights Institute to discuss one of the gravest human rights violations on planet Earth, human trafficking. Through the use of force, fraud, or coercion, individuals are denied their most basic natural and human rights, such as the right to life, liberty, and security of person, right to dignity and non-discrimination, right to work and fair labor practices, right to physical and mental health, and the right to access justice. Addressing human trafficking as a human rights issue requires a comprehensive response that involves prevention, prosecution, and partnerships. The first response is prevention. Since our last annual meeting, the Coalition released 2 public service announcements to further educate the public about sex trafficking and labor trafficking. Crafted in collaboration with the survivor community, the PSAs feature the powerful testimonies and victorious voices of survivors as they graciously share their stories on film. Furthermore, the Coalition believes that education is prevention. A working group formed in the summer of 2022 to create free lesson plans and classroom resources to support health and physical education teachers as they teach the human trafficking standards outlined in the New Jersey Student Learning Standards. Kate Lee, Fern Walken, Louise Murray, Patty Pfeiffer, and Gina Cavallo invested countless hours to see the project through to completion. The Safer NJ Lessons website went live in January and began actively educating teachers and students throughout the state. On February 3rd, the FBI released a statement that they are witnessing an, quote, explosion in the online grooming of boys. John Pizarro testified before the United States Senate and stated that law enforcement does not nearly have enough individuals to even scratch the surface when it comes to the amount of crimes being committed online every day against children. These statements reinforce the critical importance of our work, and that is to do everything in our collective power to use education as a means of prevention. The second response is prosecution. Our legislative committee is actively drafting and proposing legislation that protects victims, lifts up survivors, and supports law enforcement efforts to bring the traffickers and perpetrators of this human rights violation to justice. The Coalition efforts to raise awareness about human trafficking through the work of the Speakers Bureau, healthcare, outreach, and education committees, through our PSAs and the promotion of the National Human Trafficking Hotline, further enable the work of prosecutors and law enforcement to be successful here in New Jersey. On May 12th, the Coalition influenced federal legislation as Gina Cavallo testified before the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Global Health and Global Human Rights in favor of the implementation of the reauthorization of the Trafficking Victims and Protection Act. Televised on C-SPAN, her testimony inspired members of Congress as well as the American public as she shared her story and articulated the importance of being survivor inclusive in all legislative efforts. The third response is partnerships. Over the past year, we have developed partnerships and relationships with organizations, state agencies, universities, and individuals. Led by our survivor consultant, Gina Cavallo, the Coalition has developed its most important partnership, a partnership with the survivor community. Survivors have enhanced, informed, and led Coalition events, programs, and projects. The achievements of the Coalition are directly attributed to being a survivor-inclusive organization, where individuals with lived experience enable and inspire us to align our work with their expertise. These 3 responses are masterfully woven throughout our strategic plan. Since our last annual meeting, a committee worked on crafting this strategic plan. This plan is an audacious roadmap that clearly lights the path and guides the direction we are traveling over the next 3 years. We will become the North Star as we continue to be survivor inclusive, outreach and engage the 21 counties in New Jersey, fundraise with a purpose, and empower our membership. At this time, I would like to recognize everyone who participated in the Strategic Planning Committee. Please stand. Thank you for your countless hours that you invested into this critically important project. In closing, I want to thank you for joining us here today as we advocate for one of the largest human rights issues of our day. I want to encourage the coalition to continue raising our collective voice and mobilizing our resources to unite New Jersey communities to prevent and ultimately end human trafficking here and beyond. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce our treasurer, Miriam Haynes.
Thanks, Danny, and good morning. You make everything easy. I can just say we made money. So, Kate, if you want to go to the first slide. I'm thrilled to present the Treasurer's Report for the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking. Wow, what a year it has been. I mean, you just heard Danny tell you, like, everything that we've done, or a little bit of what we've done. And we've continued to establish a financially sound organization. And that's thanks to all of you. So in 6 years, as you can see on the revenue trend here, we have more than quadrupled our revenue. It's amazing, right? It's continued to grow and outpace expenses, resulting in a net surplus for the past 6 years. The gala, which many of you attended, exceeded all expectations with a net revenue of approximately $34,000. Grants continue to be an important source of revenue, but there's significant competition for funds. FY 2023 grants were $35,000. They were down from the prior year, but they were right on our budget. The Freedom Circle continues to grow, adding donors year over year. Many are participating through the monthly recurring donations, and of course the annual fund is critical to our existence. And it's great to report that we have adequate cash reserves that position the NJCAHT to increase our outreach and awareness efforts. We actually have about a year's worth of expenses, which is a lot higher than most nonprofits. Okay, can you move the slides? So here's a snapshot of our revenue composition. I always find it helpful to see a picture. So you can see that the biggest part of our revenue are the grants, the gala, our Freedom Circle that I mentioned, our annual fund, and our Survivor Assistance Fund, which we had raised about almost $8,000 this year. The grants, the healthcare conference also was a net profit, and that excludes the grant that we got from Capital Women's Health. So how do we spend our funds? We added a part-time administrative assistance to provide technology and program support. And if you saw the strategic plan that Danny put up, one of the ways is one of our North Stars, part of the North Star, is to actually get us to some more hired, paid help. We provided almost $8,000 in emergency assistance to survivors. That's more than double the prior year. I think we helped about 13 people this year. That's amazing, and hopefully next year we can double that again. We refocused and consolidated our committees to be more efficient. The Outreach Committee attended a record number of events, and I'm not going to list them all, but these are several of the events that the Outreach Committee attended. And I can tell you from personal experience, The people are really interested in learning more about human trafficking and how to recognize it and how to prevent it. We had amazing questions at the one that I attended with the Library Association. Next slide. More on how we spend our money. We continue to use a centralized pool of funds for survivor speakers. We had over 20 survivor speakers this year. We produced a sex trafficking PSA, and I'm sure plans are underway to produce some more. We rolled out the lesson plans that Danny talked about. We held a healthcare conference with attendees and speakers, both sharing information. We provided gift cards to survivors through the work of the Providers Networking Committee. So that's over and above what we did for the Survivor Assistance Fund. We participated in 2 UN panels, and you heard that Gina testified in Washington. We funded scholarships in the intern program, as well as grants for schools. We trained speakers for the Speakers Bureau, and we presented at various meetings free of charge. And with all this, we tightly managed our administrative expenses. So we really, really do a lot with the funds that we have. So here's just a snapshot of, a pictorial snapshot of how we spent our money. You can go to the next slide. So what's next? Well, we're poised for another exciting and successful year. The board will be working on a detailed budget over the summer, determining the next steps in rolling out the strategic plan that was reviewed earlier this year and funding efforts that support it. Our overall revenue goal is expected to be in the range of $125,000 to $150,000, but that still needs to be reviewed by the board. And at this point, we don't expect a recurring revenue from the healthcare conference in FY 2024. I think we're going to do it in 2025. And we're going to continue our funding. We hope to come from a variety of sources: the gala, the Freedom Circle, membership, annual fund and other donations, grants, and the revenue will continue our outreach work, and the revenue will cover funding of programs, including our centralized fund for survivor speakers, survivor assistance, administrative and technology assistance, increased communication efforts to broaden our reach, and additional PSAs for education and awareness. And with that, if there's any questions to take up, well, thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Susan Panzica, our Secretary of the Board.
Thank you all so much for being here, for being part of the coalition, being part of the amazing work that we have been doing for the last, how many years? 10, 11, 12 years? So for our election, first I would like to thank the members of the nominating committee. It's not an easy job, but Susan Waldman, our fearless leader, Gina Cavallo, and L.A. Lynch have been working to find new trustees that we'll be voting on this morning, and so thank you so much for that. Today we are voting on 5 trustees at large. 2 of them are new to our board, and 3 are returning trustees. So Dr. Sophia Jones is a training and consultant specialist with Rutgers Behavioral Health Research and Training Institute for the Children's System of Care Training and Technical Assistance Program. Sophia is passionate about cultural humility and diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. She specializes in trainings and curriculum development. Angelo Onofre, Ange, as I've been corrected, serves as Mercer County prosecutor. He has focused his efforts on programs that reduce violence and crime, foster community relationships, encourage youth, and educate adults. He's an instructor with the Mercer County Police Academy, president of the Mercer County Bar Foundation, and a member of the New Jersey Commission Against Human Trafficking. Dr. Nicole Leopardi is a board-certified pediatrician practicing at Rowan Verda SOM Cares Institute. She began her anti-trafficking work in 2015 and has been a member of the Coalition's Board of Trustees since 2020. She serves as co-chair of the NCAAP Anti-Trafficking Task Force. Dr. Susan Nair, our VP, is a founding member of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking. She serves as vice president of the Board of Trustees, and she is a member of the Speakers Bureau, part of the evaluation team of the Healthcare Committee. Dr. Nair is a licensed psychologist in private practice in Chester, New Jersey. And lastly, but not least, Dr. Daniel Papa currently serves as board president of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking. He's co-chair of our education committee. He's principal of Arthur Stanlick Elementary School and is an adjunct professor at East Stroudsburg University. So those are our 5 nominees for the Board of Trustees. I will announce that we do have a quorum. We had over 50 people vote online, which was so appreciative. It made it so much easier this year. So the annual election for the members of the Board of Trustees of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking can proceed. Every current voting member was emailed an electronic ballot or was given a paper ballot upon arrival here. Thank you so much. We had 49 people vote ahead of time, and 50 votes have been collected. I am now required to ask, are there any nominations from the floor? Thank you so much for saying no. Hearing none, I can proceed to ask, is there a member here who hasn't voted who wishes to? Thank you again. Hearing none, the polls are therefore closed. We have counted the ballots that were gathered at the start of the meeting, so I'm pleased to announce the results of the election. By unanimous vote, please join me in welcoming our new and returning board members. Would you like to come to the front, please? Dr. Sophia Jones, Angelo Onofrio, Dr. Nicole Leopardi, Dr. Susan Nair, Dr. Danny Papa. And so, would any of you like to share anything at this time? Nothing better than people that don't want to hog the microphone, right? So I would like to, with all of you, just thank you and welcome you guys and look forward to just hearing all the great work that the board will be doing this year. Thank you.
For those of you who didn't realize, this was Susan's last go-round as our secretary and being a board member, and we just want to say, Susan, you're incredible. I don't know who could fill your shoes. We will desperately find somebody to do that, but you have been amazing, has been part of the team that's really brought us to where we are. And it's really my joy today just to talk about the things we've accomplished. I know Danny's gone through those, and I think the financials tell a great story too, but it's sometimes fun to watch it in pictures. So I hope you can all see the screen. We're going to watch one of Jeff's first videos. I hope we got sound. Try again. Jeff, stand up. We are... Thank you so much for doing that. I think it tells all these ways we have of telling about the amazing year we've had. And it really was such an amazing cherry on the top to win this beautiful Liberator Award. It's a National Liberator Award for an organization. And we do it, we get awards like that because of the way we structure our work and how we do our work. And that is a survivor-centered, survivor-inclusive way. And it's my great honor now to introduce the person who has brought us here to this place in time of this survivor inclusivity, our survivor consultant, Gina Cavallo.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so grateful to be here and to walk alongside of such extraordinary individuals. You are just amazing, and I'd like to just applaud and give you all an applaud. If we could just applaud everybody here. This work that you're all doing does not just happen with those of us with those horrific lived experiences. And I often say we just don't have our lived experience. We have our professional experience. We have our personal life. So there's more to us than what happened to us. However, there isn't any way we could do this work, and it's so important that I hope you can all embrace this. What I'm saying is that we couldn't do it without you. We need the collaboration, and I'm looking forward to another year of collaboration and welcoming individuals on board with their expertise, because everyone brings something to the table. We need the young people, we need the older people, we're very, very sensitive and as far as being inclusive, and we want nothing more at the table except diversity. So it's important. So I'm just thankful. So can we move on with our survivors? Okay. So we have some extraordinary individuals that we had invited this morning. And we have Rachel Thomas, these are individuals with their expertise, their professional expertise that have brought different things to the table. And it's so important because we can't just do this with one survivor. We need survivors of different experiences, their different expertise, that know what happened and that can see things through a different lens. So we have 3 coming on, and they should be on here now. Uh-oh. No, something went off though, Kate. It's blacked out.
Can you guys hear it? Is
Rachel?
the audio working? Hi, everybody.
Rachel, we can hear you. We just can't see you.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, something's working.
Yeah, but I think for timing's sake, we can probably go ahead anyway. So I have the great honor of introducing Rachel Thomas, who she's extraordinary. I can't say enough about her, and she has worked with us and hoping to continue to work together. So Rachel Thomas, and there's John Michael and Megan. Okay, so Rachel, I'm going to give it to you at this time.
All right. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Gina. Thank you to the whole New Jersey Coalition. I mean, I have been asked to share for about 5 minutes about my experience with you all. And in short, it has been wonderful. So my name is Rachel Thomas. I am based here in Los Angeles, California. I am a member of the U.S. Advisory Council on Human Trafficking, and I'm a former high school teacher. I have a master's in education from UCLA. I'm the lead author of Ending the Game, which is the most widely used intervention curriculum for survivors of human trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation. My organization, Sowers Education Group, we started in 2012 to sow seeds of awareness about domestic sex trafficking, as well as we want to sow seeds of survivor empowerment. And so we have employed 27 survivors throughout these, what has it been now, 12 years. And, I appreciate the survivor inclusion and intentional inclusivity and diversity that Gina just talked about and that you all have shown. Gina reached out to me. She heard about me through one of my a close friend named Christine Sisa, another amazing survivor leader. And I was looking in my phone. I'm like, man, when did this collaboration start? And it was in February of 2021. So it has been 2.5 years, and there has been, nothing but wonderful ideas and collaboration and communication. And I just appreciate that from Gina and all of you. I was involved in a PSA, and my favorite part about it was that you all involved students at the helm because it's for youth. And I love when people go to the source and really keep the target audience as the primary drivers of a project. And so the way that the youth interviewed me and had a huge part in creating, the PSA and what it would look like and sound like and how to make sure it's relatable for youth, I really appreciate that. And as a former high school teacher, I just, got to put that hat back on of working with young people to create their own projects and destinies, really. And just, from presenting, I believe, at one of you all's monthly meetings, I got another text from a friend of mine who was recently at the gala and showed one of the videos. And it's always a good sign when I have a lot of friends in the survivor community who all work with the same organization, and there's no, competition. There's no feelings of not being valued. There's no problems with, not being compensated, because that is, some of the things that we really run into in this field. And so I just appreciate my work with you all, appreciate that you're working with so many amazing allies and survivor leaders from diverse backgrounds all around the nation, maybe even globally, I don't know, and that you're doing so many wonderful projects, very active, action-oriented, and there's a lot to be said. And if every state could get together like you all have, we would be much further along in this fight against human trafficking. So I just want to express my gratitude for this partnership and collaboration, and to encourage you to keep going, moving forward in the direction that you're going. I'm sure you have many things coming down the pipeline, and we'll be doing even more innovative projects and bringing in even more voices. So, yeah.
Rachel, thank you so, so much. We so appreciate you, we hear you, and we see you, and we're looking forward to more projects in the near future. I'm sure Danny will be in touch. Thank you so, so much. Next, I would like to introduce John Michael Lander. He's just, everyone here is just amazing. So I'm going to give it to him. Hi, John.
Hello, Gina. Thank you so much. I just want to let you know I'm sitting here with two baby Boston Terriers on my side, and they are sending their love to you all. I'm John Michael Lander, a former Olympic diving contender and sex abuse and trafficking survivor. As a 14-year-old Olympic-bound athlete, the adults entrusted with my training groomed and trafficked me into silence, causing the most exciting time of my life to be filled with shame and guilt, while I still went on to win gold medals at the Norway and Danish Cups. Today, I'm a speaker, author, advocate, and have had the honor to create a voice for those who are voiceless, especially males. I've been featured in Time Magazine, NBC, CBS, ABC, CBC, and other news networks. And I was just interviewed with George Clooney's production company for their documentary regarding a highly public sexual abuse scandal, including a doctor and a university. I have created the predatory grooming trifecta and the predatory internet grooming, or PIG, programs to help parents and children to recognize the issues of this in-person and online grooming crisis. I'm also a certified trainer and coach for the Self-Talk Institute, and I help people change their lives. I started an Athlete's Silence, and I was nominated for a 2023 Liberator Award, so that was an incredible accomplishment, I felt. Thanks to Gina, I was invited to the most recent Freedom Gala and experienced such an incredible and overwhelming sense of belonging and family. The celebration reminded me that there's hope and movement to help people recognize and regain their choice and their power and their freedom. I didn't want to leave, but I was grateful for my 11-hour drive home to reflect on the people and their passions, and it has touched me in a way that has changed my life. I would like to provide my voice and collaboration with you moving forward, maybe participating in creating more educational PSAs and possibly be a part of your Speakers Bureau. I would also like to team with some of your experts in further developing and sharing the predatory grooming trifecta and the predatory internet grooming programs. And I would also like to offer my self-talk training and coaching to help survivors find their power and choice again. I am so impressed with everything that you all are doing and being survivor-centered. And I would be honored to add my voice with your movement. So thank you for letting me be here with you, and I appreciate all of you.
Thank you so much, John. We're so grateful that you're part of our family and that you were able to make our gala. And thank you. The next person here is Megan Connors. Megan, I'm so grateful that you're here with us. You're a miracle, and we're so thankful for you.
I am so glad to be here as well. I am a survivor of sex trafficking and labor trafficking. I was exploited both as a child and as an adult, and my sex trafficking story started with familial trafficking. Currently, I travel and I train with the Human Trafficking Training Center, training law enforcement all over the country and Canada on trafficking, healthcare professionals, churches, communities. I also partner with over 40 organizations and nonprofits throughout the country doing consultant work. I'm currently working with Medicaid to create a human trafficking program where people will be identified and therefore able to receive whatever resources they need, including housing through Medicaid system and therapy that is trauma-informed and somatic experiencing, and all of those things will be covered by Medicaid so far in 15 states that we're currently working on. And I also work as a peer support specialist in my state and have partnered with my local county to create a mentorship program for their family treatment center. Anybody that's in family court, treatment court, juvenile court, all of those people, if they have a trauma background or are struggling in substance use, I come in as an advocate, basically just to stand in their corner in court and to do life with them as their cheerleader and as their advocate. And I started that on a volunteer basis, which turned into creating a position, which we're spreading throughout the state of Missouri. I'm currently located in Missouri, but I do support over 600 survivors as peer mentorship across the country that are at various stages in the process, as well as working on creating more collaboration and leading support groups for survivors of familial trafficking, since that seems to be an area that I felt like not all the resources applied to. I also, in my journey of survival, ended up on and off of hospice as a result of trauma and what it does to the body. And so I have a unique vantage point that I can bring to medical professionals as well as to speak and to engage and talk about using my personal experience of being on and off of hospice multiple times this year of what trauma can do in the body, how a traumatized body can present differently in a medical environment, and all of those things. And so I've been interviewed for numerous podcasts, books, films, different panels and had the luxury of doing that. But I always credit the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking with my launching pad in survivor leadership. And I do that because when I first decided that I was ready to start speaking and that I was ready to do that, my first leap of faith was through a message from Gina that I saw on a survivor board. And I contacted her. And my first engagement with the New Jersey Coalition was led by the interns. And from interns, I've now done several, but from interns through people on the board to the higher up, I have always been fully supported in my work and fully supported and seen as a person and not a product. And I think as a survivor, I was marketed as a product and not a person for a very long time. But as a survivor, I have been supported from day one to negotiate my contracts, to be compensated for my time and my expertise, to be seen not just for my story, to be encouraged. Many organizations reach out and ask me to just share my story. And the New Jersey Coalition has always honored my expertise as well as my story and allowed me to share what I'm comfortable sharing, as well as to share what I have learned from those experiences so that it is educational and beneficial and useful as a conversational piece and not just kind of watching a movie or any of those things. And so I have been supported from the very beginning, as well as been allowed to use my voice to educate and work with people that are putting organizations and different sponsorships on. The New Jersey Coalition has also been there to support me. And I know that in some of the hardest times when I was on hospice, when I was doing these things and trying to continue my work as a survivor leader and supporting other people, I've always known that the New Jersey Coalition is available if I personally need support as well. And so I appreciate that you guys don't just market us as the token survivors that you're including. You also see us as people that may need services and that deserve services, as well as deserve to still be seen as the leaders and the experts and the lived experience and the educators that we are. And so I have always felt super dignified and super appreciated and super loved through the New Jersey Coalition, and it is very, very dear to my heart. Every time I see a message from Gina, I'm like, I'm in. If it's you guys, I'm in. And so I am always talking about you all and talking to in all the opportunities that I have to travel and to educate law enforcement. When I meet with state coalitions, I'm always talking about the New Jersey Coalition. And I'm learn about them, follow them. This is their survivor inclusion. This is how great they are. And so just know that I am singing your praises across the country as I travel and train, and that this will always be my home base and launching pad, which has empowered me to be able to do what I'm doing in an ethical and sustainable way while still taking care of myself and supporting myself. And so thank you so much for all that you do for all of the survivors, for all of the people that need this education, for your interns that are learning to lead. Thank you for being great examples of leaders. Thank you for seeing from a trauma-informed but more of a person-centered perspective, and for seeing us more than just as victims, but also just being in my corner, because without you, I don't know that I would have continued this work to be supporting others while still being able to be a person and show up myself. So I appreciate you all so much. You guys are a home base in my heart, and you will always have my support.
Thank you so much, all of you. I'm so grateful to call you my brother and sisters, and you will always have a place here at the table with our family here in New Jersey Coalition. And if there's anything we could do for you professionally, personally, you know you have a family here. And we love you and we thank you all. So thanks so much for being here, part of this important day to celebrate our end of year annual event. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have the fun opportunity to invite you to watch another lovely video. So for those who are further back, take a minute just to get a bit closer so we can watch Jeff's second video. For those who both were and were not at our amazing first ever New Jersey Freedom Gala. One more time. if we could go back to the video, please. Hang on. If we could, yeah, perfect. I just want to acknowledge two people who really, I mean, so many people made our gala very, very special, but two people in particular really just made it happen. Patty Pfeiffer, please would you come forward? And Gina Cavallo, please come forward. Because these people already won awards before, so. And everybody on the gala team and gala volunteers, please stand up. It really was quite an outstanding event. And now this is really the start of our very happy part. Well, it's all been happy, a great meeting today to honor our volunteers. You know, our awards, I don't know if you could see the pictures of those beautiful awards. They were handmade by Glass Roots in Newark. And it was such a special thing to have those very special, you know, artisan-made trophies. But we've got other little trophies for our people today, and I'd like to invite Danny Papa to give some of those awards out, please.
I'm honored to speak about 5 extremely deserving volunteers here at the Coalition. Our first Outstanding Volunteer Award is Caroline Demby for her dedication to the Speakers Bureau. Please come forward. I think I saw her before. Yeah. For her dedication to the Speakers Bureau as coordinator and recording secretary for the Operating Council. Thank you, Caroline. Next, Dr. Louise Murray. For her service to the Education Committee as our first internship director, and most recently, a key part in creating the health and PE lesson plans and new website. Thank you, Louise. Unfortunately, Joe Remy could not be with us today, but we are recognizing him for his outstanding service in developing the legislative language of our new legislation, which will soon be introduced, and looking forward to his co-leadership on the Legislative Committee. Next is Fern Wolken. For her outstanding and painstaking dedication to creating the best possible videos on our new lesson plan website and her help with the gala video. Thank you, Fern. And finally, Christine Million. She cannot be with us today, but we were delighted to present her with an Outstanding Volunteer Award at our recent gathering, which reflects her leadership of the internship program. She went from being an intern under Louise Murray's mentorship to mentoring the new interns and continuing to empower students to develop a January awareness program. We couldn't do it without her video skills, from the 10th anniversary video through the spectacular video shown at the gala last month. Thank you, Christine. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Gina Cavallo, who will give out another couple of special awards.
So this individual, I just wanted to read a few things on it, has been so instrumental in creating an event for us a couple years ago. It was actually the fall of 2020 on the trafficking of boys, men, and the LGBTQ plus youth. And he was also a key volunteer initially setting up our healthcare conference, which he worked endless hours at. That brought that conference to an amazing success. In addition to this, as you can see, he put endless videos together along with Christine. So I would like to call up Jeffrey William. is going in the video. I hope somebody's taking it. The next person, honestly, there aren't enough words for this next individual as well. She works just endlessly, like 365 days out of the year. I would say very close to it, and with such heart and passion. And I don't know what we would do without this individual, without any of you, but this morning, Miriam, could you come up? This morning, as you could see this morning in her presentation, this is something that she does pretty much 5-6 days out of the week. And we can call her at any time, just like many amazing volunteers. And Miriam, we're just so honored to have you here walking alongside of us and deserving of this.
So I asked if I could give this final award. This is really such an amazing person who we are, and I'm going to tear up. Susan Panzica, you have been the most extraordinary board secretary. You have been an incredible founding energizer of this nonprofit. You have brought innovative ideas, your HT Challenge, the Speakers Bureau. I really couldn't tell you all how much Susan does, from just designing things and helping us with our rebrand. I mean, even the videos your family made help us win the rebrand, but you continue just to push us to be our best selves. We're going to miss you so much on the board, but I'm just looking forward to working with you in all other ways. But please come up. We have this award for you. Put it somewhere safe, actually.
I can't say a few words. It has been really such a passion of mine for the last 10 years, and it's a labor of love. I continue to, I'm stepping down from the board, but not from the coalition. I will be part of the Operating Council, Speakers Bureau, but the people that are part of this organization are second to none. And I remember often telling my husband after our meetings how much I loved it, because he was on the board of the Chiropractors Association, and there was always, issues and trauma. And I said, we are all working together as one unit, and we all bring our different strengths, and there's so much diversity in thought, and, politics don't enter in, and, we're all working for the same cause no matter where we stand on any spectrum. And it's just been such an honor for me to be a part of this organization, and I just look forward to how it's just going to continue and grow. And I really love each one of you so much. Thank you.
So stick around with the awards and flowers. We need lots of pictures with the board. And we are, I think, able to adjourn a little earlier. So I want to say thank you to all of you. We highlight some volunteers, but we are a volunteer-based organization. So without all of you, we couldn't do this. Thank you for being here. And I also want to make sure that we know that the space, which feels very sacred in the mission that it carries at this Human Rights Institute, that we honor that, and we look forward to coming back year after year, feeling that partnership is very special to us. So thanks to everybody at CAHT for hosting us. And now we are ended, and hopefully you have time to network after this meeting, but we'll also be getting lots of photos. So thank you so much, everyone. No, I need to do a picture with you. Are you in the board right here?